I've wanted to do this video for like months. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Hunter here, and I am bringing you guys a video. And as you can see, it's from a very different location than probably what you're used to. I'm actually at my friend Xavier's studio. Decided to borrow it for a bit to shoot this video. A couple things before I get into this, though. I want to say a few things. First and foremost, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Stop what you're doing. Just pause right here. Go down. Hit the subscribe button. Obviously, if you like what I'm talking about in this video, please hit the like button as well. And if you can, I'd appreciate it greatly. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Links are also down below. Whew, yeah. Also, happy 2021. It's been a while. I was supposed to put out a video kind of shortly before the year ended, but I ended up going on a trip. I actually just got back 2 days ago. I was in Ohio for a bit, spent some time with my girlfriend. It's a wonderful time. But I'm back here now and I'm trying to make some videos and a lot of headway here in 2021. A lot of goals. I'm not gonna stress on all those things because we're gonna get into that in a little bit. All right, so if you see the title of this video, it's gonna be a little heavy-handed. We're gonna talk about YouTube in general and just, to put it lightly, why you might wanna quit in 2021. All right, so to get started on this whole thing here, let's talk about YouTube in general. This is not a video to discourage anybody or to necessarily, talk bad on anybody and make you guys quit. But the most important thing I think that you guys need to understand is if you're going to do YouTube or realistically anything, especially the things that I'm gonna be talking about in regards of starting your channel, or if you already have your channel started and what you're doing as a creator right now, one of the big things I kind of want to discuss is the major hurdles and pitfalls that people kind of fall into and the reasons why this might not be for you. Ultimately, hopefully this will give you some leeway in understanding what you need to do and what your mindset should be going forward. And that way you can succeed here on the platform. So first thing I'm gonna kind of just hit off running is that there is absolutely zero guarantee of success. You could do everything right, everything that you're supposed to do, and it just not work out. And that's not a problem with you. That's just the nature of how things happen to go. So with that in mind, do your very endeavor best to try and make something of this, but don't look at it as you failing is bad on you. It just might not have worked out. And that's okay. That's probably the hardest pill in this entire thing to swallow, to be completely honest, because understanding that, you could do everything right from your thumbnails, you could be creative, you could be this energetic kind of person, and it just, for one reason or another, not work out. Maybe you just weren't discovered. Maybe, I don't know, maybe people just aren't picking up what it is that you're doing, but it's a possibility. It's a very real one. However, alternatively on that, you can very well succeed. As long as you're willing to put in the work and the time and the energy, you can indeed make it. All right, second one, big little heavy-handed bit of a reason here is negativity. So it's very easy to find negativity here on YouTube, whether it's in your comment section or you're looking at something I'm gonna talk about next, actually, which is gonna be your analytics. But the easiest thing to kind of fall short in is just, you have to understand in this racket, as you're a creative and you're making videos and you gain more traction, that you're gonna have people that are gonna come on, they're gonna come in your comments and they're gonna say all types of things about you. Some are gonna say some racist things. Some people are gonna pick at you. They're gonna tell you that what you're doing is stupid. You might have people in your life that are telling you what you're doing is dumb. But if it's something that you're passionate about and this is what you want to do, I encourage you to stand strong in your endeavor. Stand strong in what it is that you want to do. Don't let the idiosyncrasies of people's comments and their nonsense pull you away from what it is that you want to do. Always just remind yourself that this is the internet at the end of the day. And I know that's not an excuse, but it's a real thing. It is the internet. You're going to have people that are going to just be a bit rude to you, and you're going to be hard on yourself. And it's okay, but remember that, again, this is your passion and you're starting out with it and you're trying to make the most of it and the best that you possibly can of it. So allow yourself the time to grow and make the most of what it is. All right, next, analytics. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record or like another YouTuber that's probably said this millions of times before, don't stress your analytics. Don't stress them. To put it very simply, you know, your analytics and your numbers are cool. It's good to know. You should use them as a resource to see how your videos are doing and where your videos are going. However, don't get caught up in the likes and the views and the comments, because again, as someone who's starting out, if you're still very early on in your creative career, there's gonna be a long time, a good while, before your videos catch traction or blow up or get the kind of results that you might be hoping for. To be honest, I've been on YouTube since I was 16, on and off periodically. I've picked this channel back up like middle portion of last year, and I'm just now slowly kind of picking up little by little. And it's not even at a degree that like I would personally be, you know, super stoked about. But for me, I'm liking the consistent numbers. I'm making the most of it. Like I could look at the 50 views here and maybe the like 100 views here and just look at it and be absolutely, you know, miserable about it, and like this sucks and I suck and what I'm doing sucks and all that stuff. But in reality, I look at it as like, this is my growing process. This is me slowly developing my style and what I want to do on this platform, and ultimately figuring out what my place is in it all and how to get people more interested and more engaged in what I'm doing. And I feel like helping people with, you know, making videos and outside of just like my natural love of gaming and talking about gaming stuff and getting into this kind of like video making and film making thing, as well as incorporating gaming into my content, this is what I want to do. And I know it's not an easy thing to be in, as I figured out kind of my niche, but it's a process. So use your analytics as a tool to guide yourself. Don't use it as a means to determine whether or not your content is worth it, because ultimately you and your content is worth it. You just have to develop it in a more interesting and unique way. Take the time out and evaluate and make the most of it. Next big thing is going to be kind of piggybacking off of this. I would say it is hard work. If you're going to do YouTube, if you're going to make videos on the internet, if you're gonna do Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, you're gonna stream on Twitch or anything else, whatever it is that you're going to do, understand that this is not an overnight success story. There are people, sure, who have probably done this and blew up relatively quickly, but they are the exception, not the rule. Understand that in doing this is going to take time. I have been doing this for numerous of years out of my life, on and off. I've picked this back up since August of last year, and to be completely honest, I am still not where I want to be yet. And I think that I have incredible amounts of room to grow, a lot more to learn and develop in my own personal work to ultimately get the results that I want. And I am telling you, it is hard work. This is a job essentially where you work for yourself. If you want to make a career of this, you're working for yourself, and you have to treat it like a career. And it doesn't shut off the moment you turn off the camera. Like, there's gonna be countless times where you're gonna be thinking to yourself, you know, what should the thumbnail for my next video be? What should my next video be about? What should I talk about? How can I make it more interesting? How should I shoot it? What can I do here to help it? These are things that you have to consider. And honestly, if it's gonna be something that you feel is too overwhelming for you, in combination with like you can't handle, you know, the possibility of people being negative towards you, or just the delayed gratification in the work that you're doing, if these are things that you ultimately feel aren't gonna work for you, then you might want to reconsider doing this. And again, I'm not saying it's not worth it. I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm not making any money doing this right now. This video right now is making me $0. But to be completely honest, I'm happy doing this. This is something that I would have done no matter what, because I'm happy with it. So the hard work that I have to put in to make a career of it is more than worth it for me, because it's something that I'm genuinely passionate about. Man, talk about loaded, right? All right, so next one is gonna be competition. The next thing to kind of really big understand here, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and it kind of coincides a little bit with the hard work, is that people are under the impression that like YouTube or Twitch or just social media in general should cater to newer creators. And if I'm gonna be honest, that's not the platform's job. It's not. They don't owe you anything. They gave you a platform to be creative and to do your work and to make whatever it is that you want to create, it's your job to promote it and get it out there. Everybody talks about, you know, the YouTube algorithm, the almighty algorithm. And don't get me wrong, the algorithm is important. You do want to cater to the algorithm with your good titles and your thumbnails and clickable stuff, content, but YouTube doesn't have to promote your video. It's not their job to do so. YouTube's goal is to put out what content is going to keep people on the platform longer and ultimately keep people coming back. That's what they do. The same way how Twitch is going to promote top streams that are going to keep people coming in, or, you know, whatever it may be. So it's not their job to do that for you. And you have to be willing to do that. And you also have to understand that you're in competition with a bunch of other people on the platform. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being in competition on this platform. In fact, the multitude of people that are on here that are making content is a bigger boon for you than it is a negative. A lot of people look at it like, oh, this person's stealing my viewers or stealing my potential subscribers. That's not what it is. There are some 7 billion plus people on planet Earth. There's more than enough people to watch you. More than one person watches the same movie. More than one person watches, you know, listens to various artists. Like, we don't all listen to one person. So therefore, that's not an object. It's not a situation here. You have access to the same amount of opportunities as they do. It's just on you to do the job and do the job good enough. Always try to remember that. Don't look at it as a negative that you're in competition with people, because the truth of the matter is competition breeds innovation. With people that you're competing with and seeing the varying ideas of what people are doing with their content, you can come up with ideas for your own content and figure out what you want to do and make something even better than what you probably already had imagined in your head. One other thing that I definitely want to talk about, and I think this one is probably one of the harder ones, much like how I started this whole thing, is vulnerability. Being a creator or an influencer or whatever, you're bound to be vulnerable. You're gonna have hard moments. You're gonna have tough times in your life, and it's gonna show in your work. And being vulnerable is probably the hardest part. Like, I take something as simple as me vlogging and like people looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm holding up my phone or, you know, whatever camera is in front of me and talking to it, thinking that I'm like crazy, but it's part of the job. I'm vulnerable in that aspect. In the same way, like how I was saying before, people being negative to you in your comment section and things like that, like you put yourself out there when you make these videos. And if you're not comfortable with that, that might be something you want to consider once again in doing this. But ultimately, it's part of the job. It's what we do. And you're gonna be vulnerable. Always remember that you are doing your best and you are worth it. Whatever comes out of this and whatever happens is not a reflection of your worth as a person. It's just a matter of like, your ideas might not be coming over as well as you may have wanted them to, and you just have to take the time out to look at them, reevaluate, revamp them, and make it better the next opportunity that you have. All right, so this has been crazy, right? This has been a lot of, you know, what ifs and here and kind of like the negatives, right? But the truth of the matter is that this is a fun thing to do. I don't want this to sound like I'm discouraging anybody from making content, because you can do it. If you want to make content, this is your opportunity to do it. And honestly, I don't think there's a better time to do it than in 2021. If I could be honest about YouTube for just a second here, I look at YouTube kind of like a whiteboard, or like that empty room in the Matrix movies, where if you have an idea and you want to create something, you have the ability to put it out there, cultivate it into something, and ultimately reach millions of people in a way that probably no one had thought of before, or just no one put in that particular way. And because of that, this is the most rewarding and open-ended kind of thing that I think anybody can get themselves into if it is something that they're into. Being able to just create passionate ideas and content that you believe in, and to be able to put it out there and make a career of it while benefiting people around the world, whether it's entertainment or you're instructing somebody and educating them in some kind of way, or whatever it may be. Like, I'm a guy who sits here and vlogs and plays video games and talks about, you know, how to get into all of this and how to do it from the perspective of someone who's getting into it themselves. And I find a lot of value in that. And in offering that kind of value to other people and benefiting them, it is incredibly rewarding and it is a good feeling. Anybody who's ever recognized me from a video or has, you know, taken what I've said and benefited in some kind of way, I feel infinitely good about it. And I think it's something worth trying. If you've even so much as thought of putting out a YouTube video, my biggest recommendation to you is to grab a camera, grab your phone, whatever you have available to you, and hit record. And record something. See what happens. Give it a try. You're never gonna know how much you like it unless you just give it a shot. It can't hurt. At the end of the day, it's completely free, and it's a video on the internet. And it's your opportunity to try something that you probably wouldn't have tried otherwise. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I just wanted to kind of talk about these things. I was like, for the first video of 2021, I really wanted to kind of talk about what it's like being a creative on YouTube, why you may not want to do this, the kind of things that you should consider, the pitfalls, the hurdles, the difficulties, all of those things. And I mean, this is kind of nice, right? We're in a talking head situation. I haven't done one of these in months. I have literally been outside forever. But here we are, you know, 2021, who knows? Maybe the build out for the studio will actually finally happen. Fingers crossed, right? But, yeah. Oh, whew. But all right, guys, like I said, that's gonna do it for me in this video. As always, please leave a like if you did. If you enjoyed it, you know, thumbs up. Go ahead, click that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. And I will, and I promise you that I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.